Ladies and gentlemen, college football fans, USC fans, rejoice. We made it through the offseason. Another offseason down the drain. It was a long one, but here we are. Fall camp starts this upcoming Friday. So lots to look forward to. But today's video, I want to take a look, just a quick USC season preview, look at what this team has, storylines, my thoughts on this team overall. But before we get into the video today, if you enjoy college football, if you enjoy the channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well. It really helps me out a lot, so I appreciate you guys. And like I said, college football is starting up really soon. We will be making a ton of USC videos all season long, so do not want to miss it. Subscribe now. I appreciate you guys. But let's get into the video today. Overall, I think this is probably the most intriguing team to me in college football this upcoming year. And I think a good analogy for this team, there used to be a show on Animal Planet called Call the Wild Man. It's a couple years ago. And there was this guy named the Turtle Man who used to go out, catch snapping turtles, snakes, possums, raccoons, all this kind of stuff. And when he caught them, he'd always used to kind of put them in a corner, back them up in a corner, and that activated the fight or flight in these animals. That's what I feel like this USC team is. They're kind of back into a corner right now. Year 5 for Lincoln Riley. People are asking him, hey, you haven't really done much at USC. Is this the year? No more excuses left. You got 17 returning starters, 9 on offense, 8 on defense, Jaden Maiava, and stud quarterback. No more excuses. You are backed into a corner. What are you going to do? What now? And that's what makes this team so incredibly interesting, is because it's kind of, you got to go now. This is probably your best chance to make a run in the playoff, to do something big. And looking at it in more depth here, I talked about the spring ball hype all throughout the offseason. The amount of returning starters, I said 17 returning starters. Jaden Maiava, a veteran O-line coming back, so don't really have to worry about that. And you get a pretty solid backfield with Jordan and Miller. And I'm a big believer on, if you want to go deep in the Big Ten, if you want to go deep in the playoff or make the playoff, you got to have a two-headed monster running back. You can't just have one guy to rely on. You need both guys carrying the weight and leading this team to victory. And then a big question I have, not really much a question, just more interest I have, is which young receiver in fall camp is going to separate himself to be that number 3 guy? Because you have Tunick Hines, you got Anderson, the transfer from NC State. You got such talented receivers in the California area now on USC. Who's going to kind of be that next guy? I want to see that this upcoming fall camp. And then moving on here, I want to talk about the defense as well. This is probably the biggest question on USC, because last year that was inexcusable. That was not the standard for USC. They would let up way too many explosive plays, could not stop the run in big games. So this upcoming year, Lincoln Riley goes out, hires Gary Patterson, former head coach at TCU. And I think it really bolsters the ceiling for this USC defense, because not only do they have a lot of returning guys, but also I think it's going to let them play with a little bit more confidence. And really what excites me about this defense is the depth they have, and specifically aimed towards the defensive line and linebacker positions, because that is a little bit of a question mark. It's like, who's going to play? Which freshman's going to kind of show up? Because freshmen are going to play. I think when you have a great recruiting class that you brought in from this past year, you're not going to not use them. You got to use them. They're talented guys, so you got to throw them out there. But for me, it's really, can this defense endure the schedule? Can they go against these Ohio States, Oregons, Indiana's, Penn States, and show up every single week and stop the run and limit these explosive plays? That's the big thing for this USC team this year, is the defense. That's this. When you look at this team, obviously Lincoln Riley is an offensive mastermind. We know the offense will put up points. It's just, can this Gary Patterson defense endure the schedule? Overall, because it's a grind. But overall, I feel like this is probably the most complete team Lincoln Riley's had since he's been at USC. And thank God, because when you look at this schedule, you're going to need a complete team. You hit the big 3 in the Big Ten. You got Oregon, you got Ohio State, and you got Indiana. Playoff teams for the past 2 or 3 seasons. And I think that's a great test to see where you are as a team. Because if you beat them, you're exactly where you want to be. You're exactly, hey, we are a playoff caliber team. We just beat a playoff team. And then also a sneaky game I want to talk about that's not getting talked about a lot. At Penn State, Matt Campbell, Rocco Beck, could be a whiteout game. That needs to be a must-win. That needs to be a must-win. But I believe this team is hungry. I talked to Jaden Maiava. We did an interview with him. He told us the team goals and what he wants to do. And I was like, well, yep, I love hearing that. So playoff caliber team for sure. If the defense can be consistent, that's probably the biggest thing. If I'm circling that. But I mean, we're looking at a 10-2 ball club, I feel like. This is a playoff caliber team. But USC fans, I want to know your thoughts heading into the season. Obviously, fall camp, like I said, starts Friday. A lot of optimism, a lot of hype around this team. What do you think USC is capable of this year? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But like I said, my name's Zak Herbstreit. This is Off Script. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys soon.